Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to Spirits and Ghost Stories. I'm your host, Thomas Aarons.
And I'm Carly Bird.
Carly, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing really well now that I'm off work. I mean, I've just been working a lot. And for those viewers that understand working the later shift where you start at noon and you get done around 8 or 9 o'clock at night, it takes a different piece of your soul every day. And it's interesting. The callers are different. The people I deal with are completely different than your regular business folk that are in it to win it. Like the evening people are just kind of they're nasty, they're mean, they don't care about you, and it is rough on your soul. But I'm getting through it, and tomorrow I'm only working about 3 hours, and then it is time to get my feast on.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. We decided to do a little Thanksgiving shindig this time around, testing out some new audio equipment before the real audio equipment comes next week.
So ready.
So yeah, we're pretty excited about this. This is week 60. To celebrate...
What? The big 60?
The big 60.
What?
Really
I didn't even know that.
And tonight we are drinking a Thanksgiving margarita. This has apple cider. Oh, cheers. Apple cider, salt. We did have cinnamon sticks, but they're gone.
There's
now.
A little bit of pear juice in there as well. Obviously, we went with tequila and not vodka.
Patron is actually in there too.
My
Cool.
bad.
Oh no, it's the type of tequila.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then also, like you said, pear juice. Stir it up, shake it up, either way you want to. There's also a cranberry recipe, so if you would like, you can also do this with a cranberry kind of vibe too. But a little bringing Thanksgiving to Mexico.
I know. It's really good. I mean, I freaking love margaritas, and I love Thanksgiving because, it's the next holiday after my favorite holiday, which is Halloween. And it includes a lot of food. So got me psyched.
It's like, how can you tell? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is our favorite holiday.
Right.
So yeah. So with that said, before we get into the story today, Carly, you've had some things going on in your life that have been a lot of fun. Your weight adventure. I think you should talk about that because it's been a huge.
You want me to talk about my health life? How everything has changed within the last 7 weeks of my life?
Have you now super muscular?
I'm okay, so I started this weight loss thing. It wasn't really a weight loss thing. I hate calling it that because, to be completely honest, I've gained a ton of muscle because when I first started eating, I literally couldn't even eat.
You sound good.
Because I literally couldn't even eat all of the foods that I was supposed to eat in a day. I had to stop eating before my meal was even over and then eat the rest later on because it was just too much food. Anyway, long story short, I've gained a lot of muscle. I've lost 14 pounds within 7 weeks, 14 pounds of fat. And I know that because my muscles are popping. And my coach is Brett Calhoun. She's a bikini model. She's about to go into her nationals finals within the next week and a half or so. Super excited to see where that leads her. And she's killing it. I'm killing it. And I'm feeling super proud of myself. I go to the gym 5 times a week. I'm doing 30 minutes of cardio a day. And I'm trying to talk too fast. So I'm going to slow down a little bit. And I am...
That's those Thanksgiving drinks that are getting to you.
Yeah.
I'll type in there that, I'm actually healthy too, to a relative extent.
Are you? Congratulations.
I know, right? So my hamstring, a couple of years back, I actually tore apart of my hamstring.
Yeah.
Now it's, I think 100%, where it doesn't bother me anymore. It doesn't, I don't feel wobbliness, which is great. So I can actually go hard in the paint now when I'm working out. Probably went a little too hard today. Felt pretty good. And I'll be starting a diet thing. After Thanksgiving.
Whoa, sleepyhead.
I felt probably shouldn't start it the week of Thanksgiving. It's going to be weird. So I thought, I'm just going to start it the day after.
He kept
Sunday.
telling me the month of November he's going to start it. And I'm like, well, the
It was
longer
weird.
you wait, the closer you get to Thanksgiving, and the harder it's going to be to start, because then you're going to be like, Thanksgiving Day is going to hit you. Yeah. The mashed potatoes are going to be there in front of your face, and you're not going to be able to say no, and then you're going to feel guilty. And nobody should ever feel guilty about eating mashed potatoes on Thanksgiving Day.
This is 100% correct. We got a cool, scary thing in the news to be talking about. But before that, we have a story tonight.
I do have a story. Okay, guys. So our story is Thanksgiving based. Prepare yourselves for the tale, a Blackstone family Thanksgiving.
Ooh.
All right. This is brought to you by yours truly, Creepypasta. It was all over the papers, though no one really knew how the events unfolded. On the surface, it looked like the perfect Thanksgiving. The turkey was cooked to golden perfection. Steam still rose from the freshly baked dinner rolls, and the house was filled with the scent of cinnamon and melted butter from the pumpkin pie and the candy yams. Oh, that makes me so excited for tomorrow. I can't even begin to describe how excited I am. I'm like,
I'm a little nervous about that.
I want the ham, I want the pumpkin pie, I want everything.
The sugar. I'm scared of the sugar.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I've been told by my coach I'm allowed to let loose. I'm going in. All right.
And for all my fishing the DMV guys, I will see you tomorrow morning for our live stream.
Wait, you're doing a live stream tomorrow morning?
Mm-hmm.
That's so exciting. Okay.
For like 3 people. Here, continue.
Each family member sat around the table dressed in their Sunday best, ready to enjoy the feast before them. Yet, this picturesque scene, which could have easily been the cover of the Home and Garden magazine, was revealed to be, under the surface, a gruesome tableau of a family fallen. Foul play was afoot this Thanksgiving. 5 corpses sat around this untouched meal.
Ugh.
Claude and Mildred Blackstone earned their money on the backs of hard-working, indentured servants who ran their plantation. Claude ruled the farm with an iron hand during the day, and Mildred kept a household that was as strict as it was spotless. The 2 ice-cold children, who consisted of bratty Cynthia and Toby, who earned a reputation for frequenting the servants' quarters at odd hours of the night, had just reached young adulthood. The children occupied themselves with their own preoccupations, as did the rest of the Blackstone household. Once Percival, Claude's youngest brother, was generally considered to be a good man as the priest of the local parish of Farrenville, but was not without his secrets. Claude had recently taken ill with tuberculosis, womp womp, and it was clear he was not long for this world. This had left Toby and Cynthia with a conundrum. They were the next of kin, and the fortune that they would stand to inherit was substantial. By the laws of the township, it was known that the entire fortune would go to Toby, being he was the firstborn male son.
I do like the language they use, but continue. We'll get into that later.
This, of course, did not sit well with Cynthia, and she soon began plotting to remove Toby from the picture. Good on you, Cynthia. However, despite Toby's apparent thickness, he was wise to his sister's plans and developed his own. Cynthia's vanity would be her downfall. A simple tampering with her cosmetics would be the end for her, but not before Cynthia's knowledge of her brother's sweet tooth would have him find an added ingredient in his beloved saltwater taffy. Both Blackstone children died silently in their sleep. They both died because they killed each other. Percival had always been jealous of Claude's success and affluence, but most of all his wife. He had been in love with Mildred ever since they were children, but it was Claude who had won her heart, and they married young. Yet the passion had faded from their marriage years ago, and now Percival had found himself making more and more house calls to the Blackstone home. He and Mildred met in the woods to confront their secrets and love for each other, but religion and family obligation kept them from fully reconciliation, and even despite Mildred's discovery of Claude's liaisons with the servants. Percival would listen patiently as Mildred confessed her hate for her husband daily, Though he knew that Mildred was a woman scorned, she would never abandon her family. On the night before Thanksgiving, Percival came and met Claude in the kitchen just as he was leaving to do his rendezvous with the head of the housekeeper. Claude's breath was stinking of whiskey, and Percival's patience was at end. The hatred these two had for one another in this moment climaxed to a low simmer, from a low simmer to a rolling boil, and neither could suppress it any longer. Claude swung at his brother and missed. Percival, reaching for the only thing he found handy during his crucifix, directly through his brother's heart. In honor of what he had done, Percival left the kitchen that Thanksgiving Eve and ran to parish to pray. When Mildred came down for her nightly cup of tea and saw her husband dead on the floor, she quickly called for her children. When they didn't answer, she ran up to the room only to discover each child dead in their beds. Mildred screamed and wailed, crumbling to the floor in despair. However, moments later, as though nothing had happened, she wiped her tears and calmly dragged the bodies of her children one by one down the stairs to the dining room. She then gathered her husband's body from the kitchen. All night long, she prepared them, dressing them in their finest clothes, cleaning their wounds and arranging them around the table.
That's creepy.
Percival spent the night in the church, and that next morning came to the house ready to confront his sins and beg Mildred's forgiveness. As he reached the house, he called for Mildred. He heard her familiar, elegant voice echo from the dining hall. "In here!" Percival entered. The table was set for all of them. The lifeless bodies sat around the Thanksgiving feast. A body rested between two glasses of wine. Percival's shock and confusion left him speechless. All thoughts of his own confession to Mildred had left his mind. As he stammered to ask Mildred for an explanation, she smiled sweetly and handed him a glass of wine. "Drink," she said, "and we can all be a family again."
Oh, red flag.
Percival drank the wine.
Why would you?
As he was told, the poison worked quickly. Obviously, Mildred finally, with her family again around her, took her own glass in her hand, still with that sweet smile that had so charmed the late Percival. She drank. She never screamed as the poison ate its way through her intestines. And that was the tale of a Blackstone family Thanksgiving.
So kids, the moral of the story is don't piss off your mom this Thanksgiving.
The moral of the story is don't be greedy.
Greed will enslave
At
us
the
all.
end of the day, everybody killed each other. I mean, Percival came home and she was like, "I'm going to kill you so you can be with us when we're dead," as if we're all in the same dimension.
I think there's a history of family illness in that family. That's definitely a case there.
Yeah.
But that was a really good story.
Thank you. What do you have for us? For the scary story
Well,
in the news. I'm so excited for this.
Yeah, we're gonna get to that. I mean, guys, I really did look for a scary story that had to do with like a turkey attack or like Dawn of the Peck type of deal.
Oh my gosh, like Bob's Burgers.
But I couldn't find anything.
Can we talk about Bob's Burgers for a second?
Go for it.
So we just watched the Bob's Burgers episode. I think it was like season 5 or something.
Dawn of the Peck.
Dawn of the Peck, where they had like this what was it called? A turkey trot, basically, where they released wild turkeys out into the streets and everybody was running with the turkeys. It was such a good episode where Linda finally figured out the pecking order and how she had to like beat her head against the top turkey to basically walk out there unscathed. It was so great. Okay, anyway.
No, it's a really good show.
End of story. I freaking love Bob's Burgers. This is like my favorite cartoon.
I think we still have a new episode.
I know. We haven't watched it yet.
We didn't watch the Thanksgiving one.
You passed out last night before I could turn it on.
Oh, that's right. I did. I was exhausted last night. Anyway, guys, let me bring this up now, which is our scary thing in the news. And this one right here
Scary thing in the news.
This is a really good scary thing in the news. If I do say so myself.
All I have to say is I'm super proud of the fact that I can bring up a new theme song every single episode. It's a different one, and I haven't decided which one's the best yet.
How Grandpa's Thanksgiving ghost story he tells each year led to us uncovering a 189-year-old murder mystery.
What?
Yeah, this happened.
Okay.
Grandpa's hunting Thanksgiving ghost story appeared to help two brothers uncover a nearly 200-year-old murder mystery. Bill and Frank Watson were told a chilling tale about 57 Irish immigrants who died at a railroad site in Pennsylvania during a cholera epidemic.
During a what? I can't see it. During a
Cholera epidemic in 1832.
Oh, that's a long time ago.
Bill and Frank Watson investigated the circumstances behind the deaths of 57 Irish immigrants who died in the railroad station during this outbreak.
Those are teeth.
Now they are teeth. The area is known as Duffy's Cut, as the rail workers' bosses was named Philip Duffy. That's pretty straightforward.
Holy shit.
It is a stretch of track located around 30 miles from Philadelphia. The brothers were told the chilling tale by their grandpa, a railroad worker, every Thanksgiving. They believe the rail workers died violently and not from chlorella. Choria?
Corella. I would say Chorella.
Chorella. Churros.
I don't know what that means. Is that a person? Is that a thing? A disease?
I think we got to Google that. Frank told CNN in 2010, this is a murder mystery from 178 years ago. I do love how through this whole thing, it's 198, 200, 178. So no one knows how fucking old this was. It just keeps bouncing around.
It's a bacterial disease causing severe diarrhea and dehydration.
I like how they're basically
usually spread in the winter.
A bunch of people just shot themselves to death.
A bunch of people shot themselves to death because they got dehydrated because they kept having diarrhea.
And that's what happened. So people shot themselves to death and bad things happened. The documents quote the unnamed man as saying, I saw with my own eyes 50 ghosts shitting themselves. I saw with my own eyes the ghosts of the Irishmen who died with diarrhea a month ago. I cannot say that stupid word. Cholera. Oh, that makes cholera epidemic. I know the word cholera, but I've never seen it spelled before. Diet with cholera a month ago. A dancing around the big trench. Let me try this again. The document quotes the unnamed man as saying, I saw with my own eyes the ghosts of the Irishmen who died with cholera a month ago. A dancing around the big trench where they were buried. It's true, mister. It was awful. So the Irish people were just dancing around, because after I shit myself, I'm thinking about doing a little dance.
Yeah.
Frank inherited the railroad papers from his grandpa and said one of the documents said X marks the spot. Bullshit. 'Tis where the men shit themselves. They suspected that the files contained clues to the location of a mass grave. Bill and Frank delved deeper into the case. They started digging in 2002 and years later found forks and tobacco pipe shards. The brothers didn't believe struggling laborers would discard valuable items such as these. Researchers in March of 2009 found a bone, raising suspicions that chlamydia, no, that's not right. That's not wrong. That's not right.
What's wrong with you?
Cholera.
Chlamydia.
Cholera may not have been killing the rail workers. Teams also uncovered a skull that had been pierced by a bullet and cleaved by a hatchet. Oh, boy.
Oh, shit.
Bill, the historian. We have no idea what percentage of these were murders, but if we have 57, it's the worst mass murder in Pennsylvania history.
Oh.
Murder mystery.
That's right around the corner.
He said the average age of the worker was around 22 years old.
Wow, young.
Janet Margin, a forensic anthropologist, the case proved vital clues about the lives of the Irish immigrants. It was a cruel and rugged existence that characterizes the immigrant's experience, and it speaks very broadly of the xenophobia that existed at the time. Thank you. Monge discovered bones from at least 7 skeletons, including 4 skulls.
What?
She said one skull had a little divot on what would have been the side bone of the skull. That's insane.
Wow. That means he got like bashed in the head.
That little divot is something that didn't happen when they excavated it out of the ground. The anthropologists speculate that one of the laborers may have been clunked on the head. Is clunked a scientific?
Clunked? What do you mean clunked? Maybe striked in the head, bashed, but clunked? Really?
We're going to put clunked.
Clunked is like a gentle strike.
It just doesn't seem very scientific.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't seem like murderous either. But clunked in the head.
Like a comedy.
Oh, it was like a gentle clunk.
You would say that in a comedy.
Yes.
Bill Watson said the coffins had been shut with more than 100 nails. Oh, sorry. Whoa. According to coffin, Hidden City. The remains of the 5 men and 1 woman from those who died at Duffy's Cut were laid to rest at a ceremony in Pennsylvania in 2012. The bodies of teenager John Rudy, who was from County Donegal, was repatriated to Ireland to be in the Irish soil. And burial took place in the County Tyrone Catherine Burns in October 2015. Forensics believe that the injuries to her skull indicated that she had been murdered and probably raped. If a young female gets murdered, it's probably got some rapey in there.
Honestly, yeah.
I mean, why would you murder and not rape?
What are all those bones?
And so that's a story.
Damn, that's crazy. And what does that have to do with Thanksgiving?
It was a point that he tells this tale every Thanksgiving to his family. And then somebody that was invited to the family Thanksgiving heard the story and was able to connect it to all the murders.
Wow, this is crazy.
So what that means is, guys, when you hear some goofy ass stories from some old
Uncle
people this Thanksgiving.
Bob, during his drunken rampage, starts talking about stories. Maybe just listen in a little, just give him a little bit of credit, and you might unfold some murders.
You might actually unfold some murders.
I don't know. I'd love to hear back from some viewers that have been listening, because I know our viewer ratio has been increasing significantly within the past couple of months. Thomas keeps coming to me and he's like, look at all the viewers we've got, like across the entire world. And I would just absolutely love to have some feedback from some of her viewers. Like, what do you want to hear more of? Do you want to hear some ghost stories? Do you want to hear some like mythological beasts? What are you looking for?
I'm glad you said that, Carly. And that is our segue to the end of today's show, because I cannot find that other article. And this was going to be a shorter episode anyway, because it's Thanksgiving week.
Right.
But
obviously.
Next week is the big one, because we're going back cryptid, boys and girls. We're going back cryptid, because Thomas is saying the Beast of Gévaudan.
Yes.
This is an episode
you've put a lot of time and effort into.
A lot of time and effort into it. We were going to debut it a little bit earlier, but then we had some software difficulties we had to fix. But now we're here. The episode's done. We will be dropping that next week 100%. It's going to be a lot of fun. And then what's nice is after the Beast of Gévaudan, it's all Christmas stuff, baby. We got all Christmas horror stuff until New Year's Eve. Which I'm going to also say this. For us, it's amazing because it's so easy to Google that content. I'm just going to say.
There's a ton of Christmas shit out there.
Halloween was easy. No.
Right? No. Christmas is even easier.
It's way easier. It's so much easier to find scary Christmas stories. And they're not all scary, too. That's also, it's really crazy. It's like, there's this one that's just about like the Holy Spirit and stuff. Like, it's so, well, duh. I mean, like,
it's obscure.
It's almost like the Muppets Christmas Carol. That's all. That's actually ghost stories.
But that's, yeah, literally in itself is a ghost story. Do what? The Muppet Christmas Carol?
No, yeah. I'll hold up the Kermit the Frog. But no, could we do the Christmas Carol? Wouldn't that be a ghost story?
Scrooge.
Hey, let us know in the comments section. Is the Christmas story? Is it Christmas Carol or Christmas Story?
The Christmas Carol.
Christmas Carol.
The Muppets Christmas Carol.
Okay, but the Christmas Carol, isn't that just a ghost story? You're gonna be visited by 3 spirits.
Yeah.
Christmas.
Yeah,
oh
honestly.
Shit. Okay. I'm gonna give a prize away to this, but is it the ghost of Christmas past?
Yes.
Then it's present. Then it's future. Future's the last one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Obviously.
And then you got to name who is the actor that plays Scrooge in the Muppet Christmas Carol.
I don't don't know any actors' names.
Because he's
Are
in
you
the
talking about Muppet Christmas Carol?
he was in The Prestige and he was in Batman.
The Prestige. I freaking love the movie The Prestige.
Michael Caine.
Michael. I didn't know his name was Michael Caine.
He plays Ebenezer Scrooge.
I think I recognize the last name Caine, but I don't recognize Michael. Interesting. Okay, cool.
Or Michael. No, it's Michael. There's Sir Michael. It might be Sir Michael.
I recognize Caine, but I don't recognize Michael.
Anyway, on that bombshell.
On that bombshell.
It is time to end. Hope everyone has a lovely Thanksgiving.
Have a wonderful holiday, everybody. Enjoy your long ass weekend and look for the spooks. Drink all the awesome drinks.
And we'll see you next week on Spirits and Ghost Stories. Bye.